This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
This is Miss Hender's grade 4-5 class at Frankford Public School, and you're waking up with Mark and Charity mornings.
It's like herding cats.
That wasn't. That actually was pretty good. That's a 4-5 class. Miss Vanier's 4-5 class. They were really good. They were the guinea pigs for career day on Friday, we'll say. Because I have never experienced anything like that before in my life. It was amazing. Mrs. Joanne Barry, the principal at Frankford Public School, invited me over for their career day, which you had been a part of too when she was in Madoc. It's pretty impressive. 30 guest speakers throughout the school.
Yeah.
The staff and students were wonderful, but I had never done that before, and it's so much out of our element. I can talk about what we do, but I had a 4-5 class, a 7-8 class, and then kindergarten, which was amazing.
In that order?
Yes, in that order. So for a half hour, which I thought, that'll be okay. We can do that. We can talk back and forth. They'll have questions. I'll try yeah. It's very intimidating. You get in front of them. You're like, okay, everybody, so this is what I do, and this is how we do it, and I've been doing it this long, and this is why, and going on. And then it's like 10 minutes have gone by, and you're out of material. And it's like, all right, who wants to record something?
The funniest part of what you told me that we didn't share on the air.
Oh, what was that?
Was the time where they took over your age. They all wanted to discuss how old you were. Because that's what kids are like.
Well, because part of my spiel is, I'm like, hey, I'm Charity Brown. This is what I do. I've been in radio for 23 years. Love it. Blah, blah, blah. And then one student asked later, she said, well, how old were you when you got your first job in radio? And I said, well, I was still in college. I guess I was about 20. And as soon as I said that, she had enough sense at the beginning to hear how long I'd been doing it. She's like, you could see the gears turning. She's like, oh, so you're 43. I said, yes. Oh, you don't look 43. And of course me, I'm like, oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. And I guess that reaction then leads to more kids wanting to get the same reaction. So then, it was a competition as to see how young they could make me. Every time the hands go up. Yes, what's your question? I would have thought you were 35. Well, thank you. Hand goes up. Yes, what would you like I was going to say 28. Okay, well, that's nice too. And it just continued on. There was about probably 6 or 7 of them. And it was very nice, but it's kind of like, okay, guys. Let's funny, get off right? my age, please.
If you get into show business, don't work with animals or kids. They'll show you up.
You never
know.
They
will show you up, and they will do the cutest things every time.
They really do, yes.
Every time. The one I just loved, you're listening to Mark and Charity Mornings, but can I say something else?
Well, and that was the kindergarten JKSK class. And again, I think I was 5 minutes with my spiel there. I looked at the clock, and I'm like, it's been 5 minutes.
25 more minutes to go.
These kids are already losing interest. They don't care. So I pull out the microphone and start talking to them about, just explain what we did, what we talk about. I said, we do birthdays on the air. So if you have a birthday and your mom and dad sends it in, we get to wish you a happy birthday. And then someone yells out, can we sing happy birthday? Yes, let's sing happy birthday. So you want to talk about herding cats?
Yeah, we've got it.
So they did that. And then at the end, as I did with the 4 and 5 and 7 and 8s, I asked them to do a liner like that. You're waking up with Mark and Charity Mornings. It's a bit of a mouthful. So we tried it as a group. I didn't get all of the outtakes from that, but that was amazing. It was so funny to try to listen to this group of kids because half of them are concentrating so hard on making sure they're getting it right. The other half are looking out the window at the fire truck, not paying any attention. But words are coming out of their mouth. It's not, they aren't the right words. And then to make it easier, I said, okay, can you say, I'm waking up with Mark and Charity? And we heard some of them this morning during the show, but they basically lined up. And it reminded me of the telephone game. So one kid would say it. The next one would kind of be close to it. And then the third one would be what they call us, March and Cherry. And then about every fourth or fifth kid would be like, can I say something else? I like birds. The weather is great. And then they'd run to the back and they'd get back. It was so cute. So cute. You just never know what's going to come out of their mouth.
We need the world to go back to that again when you're 5.
Yes.
And just everybody can be your friend.
Yeah.
So good. So good. Very nice. And the people who also took part, the other 30 or some odd people that brought the fire trucks and the kittens.
Oh, my gosh.
And the airline pilots.
Yes.
So good.
Mike Carey, the pilot, because we've been talking about Top Gun, I ran into him in the lunchroom because they had a great spread of food. Oh, my God. There was so much food. Good. So we got a little snack at the end, and he was in there, and he had said he'd heard us talking about Top Gun and our call signs, which, to go back to Friday, mine was gun show. Gun show. So
Charity Gun Show Brown.
Charity Gun Show Brown. Then I'm there with an actual pilot. He's like, well, we got to get our picture. I'm like, yeah, we do. So we did the gun show picture. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Principal Barry, she is amazing. I didn't see her stop moving. She was going up and down the hall. She was talking to people. She was dressed up. As we've learned from her over the last couple of weeks, she has like a trunk of clothes in her office, so kids can choose the kind of day they can have. What kind of day is it going to be? And they get to pick a costume and wear it. And we found out she had a hot dog costume for you. So I couldn't leave Friday without my hot dog costume. And the amount of people who asked me about the costume, they're like, you can't leave without it. He's going to wear it, right? You got to take pictures. I said, Monday morning, you listen, you wait. Monday's going to be a big day. And it was. And
I appreciate it. And then that's the thing about principals. They love kids, but often the job pulls them into far more administrative duties. But it just sounds like Mrs. Barry's got a handle on the administrative because she doesn't want to take her eyes off the kids.
Yeah.
It's still about the kids. I get it. Board of Education, I'm a principal. I have to do reports. I have to do this. But at the end of the day, if I still can't do this for my kids, this is what I got into education for.
Exactly. Yeah.
And but she's got her retirement coming up.
End of the year.
And be sad to miss her for the kids. I know that. So that's great. But yes, I have the hot dog costume out. We went down to the road. Charity will win. She will win an Academy Award for this filming.
Oh, okay. I was like, I wasn't in it, Mark. I don't know what you're talking about. It was all you.
Director, photography. I don't even know the everything you did to put into it.
Well,
is some of it in
I'm only as
slow
good as
motion?
the performance that was in front of me. It's not in slow motion. Katie downstairs made it into a reel.
Oh,
so the video I took of you up here dancing to Meghan Trainor in it is now a reel on Facebook. And then the pictures I took out, I questioned whether I should have been videoing, taping you outside as you ran through traffic, but I thought, no, probably stills are better.
Wish I had said that because my wife told me not to run through traffic, and I went, oh, okay, I won't, knowing full well
Kathy,
I would.
He did. But the pictures are great, and they are up on our socials now, so you can have a look for yourself. And then where's the costume going to go, Mark? What are you going to do with it?
Well, I texted my wife to say, do you want me to take this when we go camping this weekend? And I got a capitalized no.
I'm shocked that she doesn't want you to take it camping.
I think I'm going to wear it to either of my child's weddings.
Okay. And you've said too that when you move on,
this picture, a dog with a hot dog.
When you move on from working here, that is what you'd like your retirement picture to be.
Right,
is you and the hot dog.
Yeah, and then if and when I eventually pass away, that can be there it is. This guy didn't make it anymore. Yeah, look at this guy. That's how I want to be remembered.
Okay.
In a hot dog costume. And I sent it off to the guys at Roger.
Did they respond?
I should check it out. And I sent it to the Blue Jays because it was for $1 Looney Night. And look at that. Nobody has liked it yet. I hate my life.
Stop.
So I did that for nothing. But it was so good. So thank you so much. I love the costume.
It was a lot of fun. And Mrs. Barry, thank you for posting all our stuff up on their Facebook page. There's a few mentions of us up there.
No, we appreciate it.
Reminding us, everybody, to listen and to hear the kids. So thank you to everybody involved and those who volunteered, the students, the teachers, everybody. It was a fun day.
We love doing the fun, but we also love making sure that important events that go on in the community get the airtime that they deserve as well. And that includes things like mental health and addiction services. And Melanie Howard stopped by the show this morning.
She did. Her brother Andrew passed away last year after struggling with mental health as well as substance abuse. And his family has since, in this past year, picked the ball up and really ran with it,
Yeah.
and have a golf tournament coming up in the next couple of weeks to not only raise awareness and money for mental health, but also to keep it at the forefront, to keep the discussion going, and to make it clear that the stigma is slowly being lifted, but more needs to be done. And it was so wonderful for her to stop by the studio this morning.
Coming up at Trillium Wood Golf Course on Saturday, June 3rd, is a very special golf tournament for a very special young man in memory, and some good is going to come out of it. And I know that because his sister and her husband, Melanie and Tim Howard, have picked up the mantle for it, and Melanie joins us this morning. Thank you very much for coming in during a very emotional time.
Thank you for having me.
Now tell us, I guess we'll start from the beginning, Melanie. What led to you putting together this golf tournament?
Yeah, so unfortunately, last May, my brother, Andrew Roy, passed away, and it was a direct result of mental health and addictions struggles. And, you know, it's a very helpless, you know, what do you do with that when you lose somebody in their 30s? And so for us, something tangible, something that we could do to give back to the community, because we know mental health and addictions are prevalent in our community and beyond, was to come together and do this golf tournament and make something positive out of a really not so positive situation.
And what a wonderful thing to do. So the Andrew Roy Memorial Golf Tournament, raising money for addictions and mental health services, Hastings Prince Edward, as Mark said, June 3rd, coming up. How has it been the last year? Not only dealing with your grief, but I would think this would be very therapeutic in a way, creating this golf tournament.
For sure. I think, you know, and on the day, on June 3rd, the name of the game is fun, and we will be out there. There's lots of family and friends, community members that are going to be there, and it'll be a positive day and a time to remember him. But the reality is, if we remember Andrew, we need to acknowledge what his struggles were. And so it feels it's, you know, it's bittersweet, because obviously I'd rather be doing anything else, but now this is sort of something that's affected our family, and we know it's affecting many other people, and so to be able to give back to CMHA HPE and to have hopefully somebody else who's in a situation similar to Andrew get the support that they need in a timely fashion is important to us. And the other piece of that is, you know, stigma is huge, and I see it as part of my journey now to continue to talk about these issues, because we know what the outcome can be if we don't keep talking about them.
Yeah, and when there is a public event like this, it is amazing, you know, the two sides of the coin. The very good that it brings people out to talk about it again, but the bad side of it is how long they've carried it in silence and the amount of people that it impacts. Not only the individual, but as you found out, your family, your friends.
Yeah.
It's a very, very large issue.
Well, and I would say, too, one of the surprising things about, you know, reaching out and saying, do you want to sponsor? Do you want to be part of this? Is that I thought, you know, it'll be a family and friends sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And it's become quickly much more than that, which is fantastic, because members of our community, businesses, are showing up and saying, you say mental health, and people are like, yeah, people want to talk about it, but it's been a long time of sort of closed doors, and we'll deal with this quietly. And I think it's time to switch that up a bit. So,
well, thanks to people like yourself, unfortunate of the situation, but because you are talking about it and you are bringing it to the forefront, keeping it at the forefront for people, that help is there and the support is available, and encouraging people to come out and support it is incredible. How can people get involved with the Memorial Golf Tournament?
So a couple ways. We are almost a full shotgun at this point. If you are interested in putting in a foursome, you can email aroymemorial@hotmail.com. If you want to sponsor or donate, same thing. You can connect directly with me at that email account. And then the other piece that we're doing in an effort to raise as much money as we can is we've put together an online auction that opened up today and will go until the tournament date. And that is at 32auctions.com/aroy. And there's a ton of great items on there that people can bid at. So if you're not a golfer but you want to support, that's a great way to become involved.
That's awesome. And we'll have those links up on our Facebook page as well for people to get more information.
Great.
Melanie Howard and her husband Tim Howard spearheading the Andrew Roy Memorial Golf Tournament, raising money locally for addictions and mental health services. Hastings, Prince Edward. Money is staying right here in this community. Melanie, we thank you so much. Good luck with the tournament and with your journey. We appreciate the fact that you'll come out and speak about a pretty tense subject. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
So mark your calendar. You can do a lot of good on Saturday, June the 3rd. At Trillium Wood Golf Course, and once again, A. Roy Memorial Golf, on Hotmail, I believe, at hotmail.com, and Google it, and you'll get all kinds of information on that auction as well. So, Melanie and Tim, her husband, who are doing that, thanks very much for sharing that with us. Okay, so coming up tomorrow, this is National Police Week. Charity and I are going to be broadcasting from the Belleville Police Services building.
I'm so excited.
College, and I'm terrified that it's just not going to work. I'm just
not going to work.
I'm a
it'll be
control
great.
freak on the morning show, and I've lost all control of the show.
It's I kind of look at it though. Yes, it is the morning show. And yes, we do have to put some work into tomorrow, but we're not here. So whatever happens.
Right. We're just sending his stuff back, and Steve's got to make sure stuff comes out of the speakers.
But I think it'll be good. There were police on hand in Frankfurt on Friday. Some of the officers were there, and they were talking about it as well. They said, oh, yeah, you guys are coming on Tuesday. That's great. And we were speaking with the chief last week about it, Chief Callahan, working out all the details about tomorrow. And unfortunately, last week there was the shooting. In Ottawa. So when we were planning all this, we kept thinking, oh, this will be really good. This will be fun. This will be interesting. But now it's kind of taken there's another element to it, I guess, too, with it being Police Week. A good time to remind everybody and to really reinforce those connections with the community. These people put their lives on the line every day. So let's celebrate them. Let's talk about them, find out more about them, what they do here in the community, and really focus on them and show them how much we appreciate what they do.
So that's going to be coming up tomorrow morning. Join us for that, and then we'll be creeping ever closer to the first long weekend of summer. I call Easter the first, but this is the real kickoff to summer with the Victoria Day long weekend. I am loving it.
What are you going to be doing, Mark?
I am loving it. I am camping.
I know.
I'm going to be loving it.
As many Canadians will be here in Ontario, especially this weekend.
Yeah, Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. Enjoy your day from the police station tomorrow. We'll talk to you on 95.5 Hits FM.